Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good morning, our dear viewers. In today's edition of the Saudi Morning Show, hopefully you're having a fresh start for your morning with high spirit as we're getting closer to the weekend. First of all, let me welcome my dear colleague here in the studio, Saim Aziz. Good morning, Saim. How are you today?
Morning to you too, Ghazi. Very, very well, alhamdulillah. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh to all the viewers who are joining us in today's edition of the program. Hopefully that everybody is going to be having a very pleasant and at the same time a beautiful morning. And well, at the same time, we hope that all of you are going to be staying tuned to today's edition of the program as we get to see the days are going by so very, very quick. So we started the new calendar on the Hijri year, and at the same time, it is not far that we are going to be starting the new Gregorian calendar as well. Days and time is passing by as quick as never before. And then again, at the same time, if we don't really make ourselves more productive and make ourselves more committed to all it is that we want to achieve, we would realize that time is slipping so quick from our hands. So well, hopefully that we can all make the best of the time and at the same time be able to achieve all it is that we aim to achieve and wish to achieve. But in all of this, make sure that you do not give up hope. Now with this, in today's edition of the program, there are going to be lots of segments in which we are going to be discussing the varied segments that are set for the day, and at the same time throughout the course of the program, we hope that you are going to be continuing to share with us your feedback, as well as feel free to share in any questions that you have from our guests as well. You could be writing to us on our email, you can get in touch through Facebook, and as well as you can get in touch with us via Twitter as well.
Yeah, it's always good to hear from you, your questions and your suggestions, and even your comments. As Simon just mentioned, the days are just passing so quick, and without us realizing, you will be 20 and suddenly after a few years you will be 30, and, like a blink of an eye, as we say. It's so quick now. We need to take a very good care of ourselves, to watch out for our future plans, to commit and stick to it. And inshallah, all the dreams and goals that are set and worked for, inshallah, will be achieved, inshallah, in the future. And now we wish all the students all the good luck who are attending their schools. We almost forgot that they started 3 months ago and they still are now studying. It's almost the end of the first semester, would be next month, and this is why those who didn't take really very good care of themselves from the beginning, still you got some time to make it up, inshallah, and all the good luck to you. Also the ones in universities and college, we wish them all the good luck, as it's almost also the end of the first semester, and we know it's only 1 week break after that, and then they will be starting the second semester. It will be maybe a long a year for school, but after that they would be having a very long vacation, about 4 months, almost 4 months, and wish them all the good luck.
Absolutely, Ghazi. And then at the same time, we have a large number of expatriate community residing here in Saudi Arabia. So over the course of their religious holiday, we would get to see that lots of the areas of the city would be getting empty and not so much traffic on the roads, because for the winter break, lots of the people tend to travel abroad, so many of the people to their home countries as well. But in all of this, as we are going on with a brand new day, with a brand new edition of the program, let's take a quick look as to what we have in store for you for the day. So, well, our first discussion is going to be upon the lines of the Second International Communication Disorders, Audiology and New Otology Conference, and we are going to be looking at it in depth in today's edition of the program, where we are going to be discussing this more so with our esteemed guests who are going to join us here in the studio as well. And following that, we are going to be sharing with you some of the other developments which are happening here in the city of Riyadh as well. And one of those would also be about the financial news and the updates that we are going to be sharing with you in today's edition of the programs. Lots of the news updates as Kingdom is expanding its horizons. We always get to see that there are new developments from the financial markets, and as well as we get to see that the Saudi economy is getting diversified and branching into different areas as well. In our health and medicine segment for the day today, we are going to be looking at the first awareness day for eye health and safety under the title In Your Eyes, Life is a Beauty. We are going to talk more about how it is that you can take care of your eyes and at the same time prevent any kind of complications to ever occur to your eyes. And we are going to be also talking about the World Nutrition Day activities here in Saudi Arabia. That is going to be in our segment events in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. So World Nutrition Day as well. Hopefully that discussion is going to be an eye-opener that we are going to be witnessing through a report here in the program as to how it is that we should be taking care of our nutrition and how it is that we should be having a balanced diet and taking care of ourselves by all other means. Sometimes I think that brilliant advertising, Ghazi, can really help sell the product, but sometimes it really leaves a wrong mark in people's mind as well. There is a Swiss chocolatier which are really famous, and they are all around the world, and one of their ads is all about having a balanced diet, and it says have a chocolate in your right hand and have a chocolate in your left hand, and that is a balanced diet.
Yeah, this is why marketing is so important, and all those talented people, it's only a few people who are really amazing in marketing and can do it in the right way. And they are always having their high demand from the other companies to get them. It's always about being creative and coming up with the idea without harming any type of the society that you're targeting. Maybe some advertisement will harm maybe the old people, some of them will harm the children, and this is why you should be careful when making an advertisement and should be efficient as well.
Indeed, Ghazi, and this is one of the reasons that most of the medications are not advertised anymore on the television, because it was leading to drug abuse, but still we get to see some of the networks is still having some advertisements for over-the-counter drugs, the OTCs as they're commonly called, but mostly now we do not really get to see the advertising for tobacco and tobacco products as well as lots of medications. But anyways, with this, let's move on towards our news updates here in the press selection for the program, the updates which are handpicked by the team of Saudi Morning Show. So well, our first update is pertaining to the innovations and inventions of Saudis on display at the third Iftikhar exhibition here that shows tremendous progress of the kingdom in recent years. Prince Faisal opened the exhibition entitled Innovation Builds a Knowledge-Based Society. On behalf of the custodian of the Two Holy Mosque, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, Prince Faisal said the exhibition highlights the creative genius of the new Saudi generation. The 5-day event at the Riyadh International Convention and Exhibition Center has been organized jointly by King Abdulaziz and his Companions Foundation for the Gifted and Creativity for Moheba and Saudi Aramco.
This is the event that I visited, and we made a report there. It was 2 days ago, and something amazing to see some of the innovations of the Saudi talents. It's over 200 participants who were participating with new ideas, and inshallah they will get the needed support from the big maybe companies in the business sector to support their ideas and to put them in the market. The second for today is Mecca Governor Prince Khalid Al Faisal on Sunday urged Saudi businessmen to invest their money in the kingdom to take the country to greater heights. Prince Khalid was speaking at a signing ceremony for the establishment of the Durham Development Company, which has been assigned to develop the Sharashif Mountains region in Mecca Al-Mukarramah, which span 1.63 million square meters. This is a new project in Mecca. I've read about it yesterday. It's also part of expansion and enhancing the area around the Holy Mosque in Mecca Al-Mukarramah. And as the signing ceremony, Prince Khalid Al Faisal urged the Saudi businessmen to invest in their country and not to go to another country, as the economy now is growing so fast.
Certainly, Ghazi, and at the same time we get to see there are so many of the investment opportunities for Saudis as well as for expatriates here in Saudi Arabia, as it is a very lucrative market, and so many of the ideas are still yet to come to the Saudi market, so it's really a great chance for all of you out there. But anyways, with this, moving on towards the third update here in the press selections, where the Winter Project is set to benefit the poor. The International Islamic Relief Organization in Saudi Arabia, an affiliate of the Muslim World League, launched a Winter Project recently to distribute blankets worth 3 million Saudi riyals to less fortunate people across the nation, in addition to large quantities of foodstuff to those affected by recent flooding in different parts of the kingdom. The initiatives come as part of its pioneering project implemented every year on the onset of the winter season. So, blankets worth 3 million Saudi riyals would be distributed amongst the people who are less fortunate and people who have been affected by the flooding in different parts of Saudi Arabia. It's a remarkable initiative, and we hope to see more of the initiatives as such. There are so many of the charitable organizations which are operating from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, so many of the non-profit organizations which are working from here, and we hope that they would continue to do the great work in order to benefit the Saudi society.
Yes, it's for the poor in the winter, and we've read 2 weeks ago that Saudi Arabia is among the top 10 in fighting maybe the poor and trying to enhance their lives. The fourth for today says body piercing controls wheelchair. Body piercings have been used to control wheelchairs and computers in a move scientists believe could transform the way people interact with the world after paralysis. The movement of a teeny magnet in a tongue piercing is detected by sensors and converted into commands, which can control a range of devices. The US team said it was harnessing the tongue, amazing deafness. A large section of the brain is detected to control the tongue because of its role in speech. It also affected by spinal cord injuries that can render the rest of the body. It has its own hotline to the brain. This is maybe a little piercing here in the tongue, which could control the wheelchair. This is a very good idea instead of moving it for those with disabilities. Such an amazing maybe thing that they created in the United States. It might help and change maybe the theme that we used to see the handicapped people in. New technology is helping people a lot.
Certainly, Ghazi, and it's all through the new innovations and every day the new advancements that are in progress when it comes to helping people with medical conditions and helping evolve medical sciences itself. Now, with this, another interesting development is about the love hormone as it helps the autistic brain. The love hormone oxytocin alters the brain activity of children with autism and makes them more social, according to US researchers. The role of the hormone in helping children with autism has been debated, with studies showing conflicting data upon it. Brain scans reported in proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences hint that there is an effect. The National Autistic Society said research on oxytocin as a treatment was still in its infancy, but the idea really seems to be remarkable, because one of the biggest challenges of the children with autism or the children who are suffering through autism is that they cannot socialize, and that really limits them, and that hinders their public dealing as well. So if this is going to actually become a reality, then we would get to see that lots of the people who are suffering through autism would be able to live better quality of lives, because one of the biggest problems with autism is isolation, and people like to isolate themselves from others. So with this love hormone, hopefully that condition would be much better for those people with autism.
Yeah, true. And we've been receiving so many amazing news, especially in the medical world, in the medical field. New discoveries, new technologies to help people in need. In the future, I guess most of the diseases, maybe 90 to 95%, they would be treated easily, and also people with injuries and disabilities, they would be having a better life than what we are having now. As we can notice, every day we're receiving some new updates about new inventions and technologies maybe in this medical field. People are doing researches everywhere, all over the world, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia as well. And we wish them all the good luck, inshallah, to help the world and the human beings in the world to have a better life and a safer life, inshallah.
Absolutely, Ghazi. And those were all the updates that we have had for you in today's edition of the program in terms of the press elections. And in the usual course of the program, we are usually also shedding light on many of the different aspects of life, but along with those, medicine is really an important one in order to create more awareness in the society about so many of the conditions, about so many of the diseases that we can benefit from if we would just be a little bit more aware. In yesterday's edition of the program, we were speaking about prostate cancer, as we know that there are so many of the campaigns and so many of the societies which are non-profit societies are helping raise awareness upon the lines of breast cancer, but we still get to see that prostate cancer awareness is still very, very low here in Saudi Arabia. So yesterday we were talking about the efforts of the young students when it comes to creating more awareness in Jeddah city about prostate cancer, and we were speaking to them as well in the program so that people would be all the more aware. Unfortunately, there are so many of the people who still do not know about some of the very, very common conditions that they need to understand more about. So we hope that through the program you would be able to understand a little bit more and that you would be just a little bit more aware.
Kept hearing about so many types of cancer that people wouldn't notice until it reaches a final stage or a dangerous stage, and this is why always we try to focus to make people aware of the early signs maybe and how to prevent themselves from having such diseases in the future. Nowadays with the busy life that we're having and with the new lifestyle that we're having, so many diseases are coming. You remember when we were saying that 60 years ago there wasn't so much diabetes, cancer, high blood pressure. We didn't used to hear about this or even read in the history books, but this is all coming with the new life that we're having. We still will talk regarding the medical, but with the two guests who will join us right after we go on a report, and we'll be back to you. Stay tuned.
And last now currently Dr. Murad Al-Momani, Chairman, of course, of this very special event. Tell us more about it, please. Expand on the topic.
Okay, my name is Dr. Murad. I'm the chairman of the second International Conference of Communication Disorders, Audiology and Neurotology that is conducted today here in Riyadh. We have speakers from all over the world, actually more than 20 countries participating in this event. And we hope that this will make benefit to Saudi colleagues here by exchanging ideas, experiences, and latest research experience in the field of course, ENT, audiology, and communication disorders.
Interesting. Doctor, what do you see as the main goals, let me say, of course? What are you guys approaching by such events? From your point of view?
Right. Well, actually, we hope that the research papers that are being presented here will have a positive effect on our patients. So that's why we are conducting such an events in order to get the latest information, the latest knowledge, and also we are conducting hands-on training workshops for our physicians and our specialists as well.
One last question also. Speaking about, of course, since it's approaching healthcare in Pacific, how would you see would also add to healthcare in the future? We also have, I think, a Nobel winning also doctor coming here. If you also tell us about it.
Right. Yeah, actually, I think, all of these events adds to the future, So I think, we should always continue to do that. We can't just stay still here and not communicating with the people all over the world because, they get their experience, we get our experience, we have to share it together.
And with us now currently Professor Fahad Abdullah Zamel, Dean College of Medicine, Supervising University Hospital, of course, at King Saud University. First of all, Professor, it's an honor and pleasure to meet you here today. A very special event, a huge approach. First of all, tell me, what would be the main goals, of course, of such events?
Thank you very much indeed for this opportunity. Actually, our scientific meeting usually are concentrating on things that are very much related to the community, because this is our message in the College of Medicine, that we have always to discuss problems. And one of the problems, of course, is hearing. And as you know, hearing is a very important, things which people, I feel will be having very difficulty without hearing. Now what we are actually going to discuss this afternoon is what are those which are obstructing hearing acuity, especially in children and also in adults, and especially the neuro aspect. And as you know now, the cochlear implant is really very advancing, and we are proud that we have what we call King Abdullah Center for ear diseases, including the cochlear implant. Most of the speakers, we have very extinguished speakers coming from all over the world. They're going to speak about these issues.
Doctor, speaking about, of course, such an important, let me say, of course, major as hearing also. It's nice to see that we're also touching, let me see, of course, this subject. How would you see also, let me see, of course, the effect on it in the future also when it comes into healthcare? We know that here in the kingdom we have a very actually good healthcare, but of course we're always wishing to improve it. Such, let me see, of course, major like hearing, for example. How would you see, of course, the future of such events?
I think these events, one of probably the recommendation of these events that we have to start what we call hearing screening in the kingdom. That means we are going to pick up those who are really having poor hearing, all right, and then we will pick them up early, and then we will handle them early so that because hearing is very important, as you know, for the learning process. Okay, without hearing you cannot really learn. Okay, and we are very much interested those who are born, what we call, deaf and mute, because that is really, they need really excellent rehabilitation, and this is part of this symposium. We're gonna speak a little bit about really rehabilitation of those deaf children.
Professor, I'm also let me see, of course, we have also a novel, I think, winning doctor coming here who won a Nobel, if I'm not mistaken. How would you see also the effect that, and what could you say about her invention also?
I think this is a great opportunity to have such a people who are really pioneer in this issue. And actually, to be honest, when we bring such guests, actually, we would like just the people to see, what is their experience. And and everybody wants that at one time that, one of our really, expertise to be a Nobel Prize candidate at the future time, inshallah.
Simon Q.
Welcome back once again. You're still tuned to the Saudi Morning Show. So, sometimes we get such distinguished guests here in the program that we just want to know more about them. And this is part of the discussions which go off air while we have the breaks. But just during the break, you witnessed a report, and upon the lines of those reports and the different views that you heard during this report, we are going to be having our discussion as well here in the studio with our distinguished guest. Joining us here is Professor Prof Hagr, who is the president of the Saudi Society, as well as a professor at King Saud University, and is also the director of King Abdullah Ear Specialist Center, director of Prince Sultan Research Chair for Hearing Disability and Implantable Devices. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, Professor Abdurrahman.
Assalamu alaikum, and thank you for inviting us to be with you this morning.
It's our pleasure. And also joining us is a distinguished guest who is here in Saudi Arabia as a guest from the United States, Dr. Arun Gadroy, who is from the University of Louisville, and he is also the chief of the surgery department. So we are going to welcome him to the program. Assalamu alaikum and good morning.
Wa alaikum salam. Thank you very much for having us.
Thank you very much for being with us. Dr. Arun, it's a pleasure for us to have you here. And with this, as we are going to be talking to you, Dr. Abdurrahman, and to Dr. Arun more about the Saudi Second International Communication Disorders, Audiology and Neuro-Otology Conference, tell us a little bit about it. And let's begin with you, Professor Hagr.
Well, one of the things here in Saudi Arabia we are facing as a physician is hearing problems. And in fact, it is the commonest human disabilities worldwide. But in Saudi Arabia in particular, it's more common because of the relative marriage, or what we call consanguinities. So we end up with a lot of people having hearing problems. And we try to help them from the medical point of view by give them the most advanced kind of treatment to be available in Saudi Arabia. And I think just over a short period of time we've been successful in delivering the clear message to the people in the universities and in the medical field that this is an important issue which need to be addressed and need to be supported. And I think we've been lucky by having all the people in our side, and we've been very successful just over a short period of time in establishing good centers who's handling all the most difficult cases regarding the hearing problems. And I think by now there is no need for anyone to go outside to be treated. All kind of treatment has been available in Saudi Arabia, and this is in King Abdullah Ear Specialist Centers, which just been funded and established 2 years ago. And I think soon in the futures we'll be able to be one of those leading centers in this field, considering the large numbers we are seeing. Hopefully we're going to add a lot of discovery to the medical field. And this conference is basically trying to get everybody together. It's the surgeons, the people who's discovering those cases, and we call them audiologists, and people who's taking care of those patients after we treat them surgically, and we call them the speech therapists. So we sit together in this conference, we learn from our colleagues who are coming from outside, we share with them ideas. They have long experience in this field, and by having this close communications, hopefully we'll be able to build up our centers and delivering the best kind of care to our patients.
Indeed, Professor Hagr. And here, as we have Dr. Arun with us, he has written over 40 papers and book chapters, and his interests include cochlear implantation, lateral skull-based surgery, and surgery of the facial nerve as well. So, Dr. Arun Gadre, please tell us a little bit about how did you assess this conference, and how significant do you think it is?
Well, you know, I've been to conferences all around the world, and this is one that really stands out in my mind, not just because Abdul Rahman Hagr and Murad Al-Momani, who are both dear friends of mine, they're brothers. It's not because of that I'm saying it. I mean that truly from the bottom of my heart. The organization of the conference, the content of the conference, the professional way in which everything was handled, left nothing to be desired. The hospitality is, I mean, you know, this is my second time in the kingdom, and the hospitality is legendary, but it lived up to the legend. So it was, I mean, from all angles, it was a fantastic conference. The other thing that I noticed was, in most parts of the world, there is a certain degree of friction between the different specialties. And here what we found was both specialties, 3 specialties, coming together, discussing ideas on an equal plane. It's like Islam, everyone is equal. You know, so we were discussing ideas on one plane, with each one respecting the role of the other. I cannot do the surgery without having a good audiologist. The audiologist cannot program the patient unless they have a good surgeon. And so each one is important, each one's role is important. And I think what this conference brought to the forefront was not just the exchange of ideas. It's not that the guy from America has come down to teach the person in Saudi Arabia. It was, we were exchanging our ideas. I learned from them, they learned from me, we all learned from each other. And that's how it's better for humanity, it's better for our patients. Bottom line is, we have to always think, we have to always keep our patients first. And I think this conference, more than any others that I've attended, so many different parts of the world, satisfied those requirements absolutely to the T. There was nothing over there that was left to be desired.
Yeah, and Dr. Abdurrahman, let me ask you about who else is participating other than Dr. Arun, from which countries? Also, what are the main goals of this conference?
We have 4 speakers coming from the state, and we have 9 speakers coming from Europe, including United Kingdoms, and we having people coming from Gulf countries, so Arabic countries as well, from Egypt, from Jordan, and we got people who's working here in Saudi Arabia, but they are from different countries. And we get a lot of attendees to this conference. Our expectation at the beginning would be looking at 200, 300. It's end up more than 1,000 people came for this conference. So we underestimate and the fact that the people are more happy and eager to know the update of our fields. So people from surgery, from our specialties, ear, nose, throat, and people from audiologies, those who is handling the hearing problems from non-surgical side, where they discover those cases and they educate them and they help them with the hearing aid. And then the third group is the people who's helping people to speak and to put the hearing, thinking, and present it in a good sound. And we call them speech therapists or speech therapists. So I'm happy. My friend Arun, he mentioned that we work together. This is what we're really proud of it in this conference. Before people, they like to work separately, having their own ideas, but we decide this time is our goal and target is patients, and how can we deliver the best service and knowledge and outcome to our patients, and we decide to come all together and share the ideas with ourselves and with our colleagues from outside.
Certainly, but Dr. Hagr, let me ask you as well that here in Saudi Arabia, we know that we have state-of-the-art medical facilities when it comes to the equipment and as to how it is that the government is spending huge sums of money in order to evolve the health sector, especially in the past decade. But from surgery point of view to until the intervention of speech-language pathology, where is it? What are the areas that we need to be working more? Are we having enough number of surgeons here in Saudi Arabia for the people who need these services? Are we having enough language pathologists, speech-language pathologists, in order to go through the rehabilitation process with these people who have newly done their surgeries?
Well, thanks a lot for this great questions. And in fact, this is what we lack before for many years, having highly qualified surgeons, at least from my side. And this is what the government did a long time ago, sending people to study outside and got well trained. I was lucky to be one of those people, and I went to Canada and I have my training there for 6 years. And then when I came back, I decided with my friends to start a program here to train Saudi doctors the way we were trained outside. Because as you said, we have the state of art of everything, you know, the capabilities of the hospitals, the instruments, almost everything may not be even available in Canada when we were there. So we said, why not to teach our new generations the same way we've been taught in Canada. And we started 5 years ago programs. It's a highly specialized program to train doctors. It's like a postdoctorate where those consultant doctors, they comes and spend 2 years with us, and we train them to do those highly difficult cases, like what we say cochlear implants. It's basically we go to the ear, inside the ear, and we make a small hole, talking about 1 millimeters. So 1 millimeter hole in the cochlea, where we introduce tiny electrodes. Inside this tiny electrodes, wires, each one of them is 1/10 of the thickness of the hair. So you could imagine how this can be very delicate surgeries. And by having this program in Saudi Arabia, we have already 5 graduates, and each one of them started new centers in Saudi Arabia handling this cochlear implant issues. And I think soon, in like maybe 5 years, we'll be able to cover the whole needs of Saudi Arabia of those difficult surgeries. And I'm happy that Professor Arun Gadji, he came 2 years ago, and he was examiners for our fellows, because we do want to examine them because we have long relation with them. So we will always get someone from outside to evaluate them and make sure they are competent and ready to run their center by themselves. And I'm happy that he came, and he was happy about his experience, and he in fact wrote 2 articles in a famous journals in Kentucky State.
Yeah,
so
that was
I
my-
hope he will have give us his experience in this field.
Yes, saying here regarding the articles of Saudi Arabia, and I was wondering what kind of articles. So let me ask you,
Yes, sir.
you've written some articles about Saudi Arabia in
Yeah,
the
it
United
was-
States.
It was my first. It was my first stay in the kingdom, and that is true. There's a journal called Louisville Medicine. I don't know, for the viewers could probably see it here, and it's actually your city is on the cover, so you can actually have a copy of that. So the article was basically about my experiences when I came here as an examiner. And what I found was that the examinees, the candidates, were superbly trained. None of the other examiners asked me questions. There was no, it was completely above board, because this is, you're giving them the highest degree that is possible in our field, and you want them to be competent. And so I didn't know what to expect, so I started off with very simple questions. And I escalated the question, and so made it harder, and the next question was harder still, and kept going. And they hit it out of the ballpark. I mean, there was no question that went unanswered. There may have been some language barriers, but that does not change the science, right? So, as I recollect, and Dr. Hagr can correct me if I'm wrong, there were 4 candidates from here. There was already one from Kuwait that we examined. All 5 passed with flying colors. It wasn't a close thing even. So I can tell you that and I've been an examiner there as well, and one of the things I can tell you is that the candidates are superbly trained. They know what they're doing. And, I come from a developing country. I live in America, but I grew up in Bombay. And so it makes me proud. Watching that success makes me feel happy. That the time would come when you don't need surgeons to come from outside to operate here. You will have Saudi surgeons operating on Saudi children. That is important. It's important for any country. It's important for the confidence of every country. And I think this investment in education, sending people like Abdul Rahman to Canada, or Dr. Al Sanusi to Australia, those will pay very, very rich dividends in the future. And probably I see the day when people from the region, or even beyond, will come to Saudi Arabia as the Mecca of education. Mm-hmm. And I would hope we see that day very soon. I don't think it's going to be very far. In fact, I wrote 2 articles about that very issue.
Certainly. Dr. Arun, let me ask you about cochlear implants. How important is earlier intervention? And when we talk about statistics roughly of cochlear implants, as Professor Hagr mentioned earlier, that in Saudi Arabia, because of interrelated marriages, we are having some more challenges in comparison to countries like United States, Australia, or Canada, as you mentioned. So when we talk about statistics globally, how do you rate cochlear implant facilities here in Saudi Arabia, especially as you said that you have examined Saudi trainees as well?
Second to none. Absolutely second to none. Whatever is available to me in my hospitals in the United States is available over here to any Saudi citizen. The beauty of it is we sometimes have problems over there with issues of, what is the insurance, and the insurance approving and not approving, and so on and so forth. Here, the government takes care of all its people. People, you don't have to worry about. Those are not issues that people have to worry about. And so I think the access is there. What has to happen is there has to be a generalized awareness, and programs such as yours make that awareness known. So I think when you use those 2 as a catalyst, I think you will land up in a situation, in a major center in the United States, we say is about 50. I do about 55, 60 a year. So that for a single surgeon is considered a large center. Well, they're doing 400 a year, and they're talking about doing 800 next year. So So if you think about just the experience, the growth, it's exponential. It's not, they've doubled every year. I mean, they started with 50, 100, 200, 400, now 800. So there's obviously the need. Now, having said that, numbers don't always say everything. The operation has also been to be done in a competent fashion. If you do the same operation in a poor fashion and the results are bad, society will reject that operation. People will say, I got a cochlear implant, I got a bad result. So it's vitally important that we just don't bundle it out. It's not for everybody to do. You need to have the training. If you have the training, you should be able to do it. But you have to go in a very thoughtful manner, a very methodical manner, just like Dr. Hagr has done. He's trained 5 people. Those 5 will then go out and train further 5. And you know, each one, it's a magnifying effect. And so I think in 10 years you'll blanket the whole country, and people don't have to then come from some other remote part of the country to Riyadh to get the surgery. They can get it done in their backyard. They can get the rehab in their backyard, in their own home.
Yeah, very nice.
Yeah,
and Dr. Abdurrahman, Dr. Aaron just mentioned that we're having very good surgeons here in the kingdom and also some advanced technology devices. Let me ask you about research, the field of research. Do we need more work, more support for some big hospitals or some universities to be leaders maybe in the research field, to make new devices, improve the ones existed, and also the surgeries that are done to improve them as well?
Great. I think this is part of our duties being teachers in the universities. It's not only treating patients, but rather be involved in international advancement in medicine, because with these huge numbers we have in Saudi Arabia, I think it's an obligation of every one of us is to come with the new discoveries for the humanities. It comes with new ideas, and this is the idea of research, is putting these questions and testing them and comes with better outcome. I think would be one of the best place to test the outcome and to see the new discoveries of these ideas in my centers. And we have in the university, I'm actually heading the research chair for hearing disability now for 4 years, and I think we've been successful in this research chair by coming with the importance of hearing loss in Saudi Arabia, and the authorities in Saudi Arabia, they like these ideas, and this is why within 2 years the King Abdullah approved to have an ear centers under his name, with full support for everything. So the research is part of it, is discovery and answering questions, but at the same time is magnifying the pictures and showing the people the needs in Saudi Arabia and saving a lot of monies, because in hearing loss in particular, the country, the government is paying a lot of monies in a deaf mute school. And then after they finish the high school, hardly they could continue their education in the universities, and more hard to find a reasonable job. But with the new technologies, with the cochlear implants, they could have a normal life, and they could be a physician, they could be engineers, they could be teachers, so they have better life. And the money we spend in the cochlear implants is 1/10 the money goes to the deaf mute school. So by all means, it's a real investment in the medical fields, and this is part of the research, is showing this kind of where it's supposed to be going.
Very nice. And you're leading the chair in King Saud University for in this regards.
Exactly.
We know that the funding has been increasing from 1% to almost 3% here in the kingdom. I'm talking about maybe from the total budget or the GDP. It's rapidly increasing so quick, and maybe you're receiving extra funds every year, and maybe by the next year we'll reach, or the year after we'll reach 5%, which is the global average, and inshallah we'll see some positive results, inshallah.
Certainly. And what does Dr. Arun tell us a little bit about the cochlear implant surgeries, as to what is more critical when we talk about implanting these cochlear implants for the people with hearing deficits and disabilities. Is it more critical when it comes to the surgical part, or is it more critical when it comes to the management of the patients who have done the cochlear implant surgeries?
I think both are equally important. So if you do a good cochlear implant surgery, a perfectly done operation, but you don't have the aftercare, the rehab, the audiology, these patients need to be mapped. There are electronic maps. If those maps are not adjusted, it's like your glasses, right? So if you have glasses that haven't been adjusted properly, you can't see clearly. So if you don't adjust those maps properly, the electronic maps, you don't hear clearly. How does a child learn to speak? A child learns to speak by imitation. So you hear your father talking, you hear your mother talking, then you learn to speak. If you don't hear right, you don't speak right. And so communication becomes a problem, and then these children tend to get marginalized. And what Dr. Hagr says is absolutely correct. If you have to send these children overseas to get treated, it's a lot of expense. It's not only just that expense, but how are you going to get them treated afterwards if you don't develop your own system? Who's going to do these maps every 6 months? Who's going to do that map next year? How many times does this child have to go out and come in? How much losses are there in loss of time, loss of resources for the family? The child can't go alone, so the father, mother have to go with him. That's lost wages. That's loss of productivity for the country. So when you put that it's not a very simple linear equation. It's a much more complex social equation that we have to also think about. So I think both are vitally important. And this conference, I was shocked to see how many audiologists there were at the meeting, how many speech therapists there were at the meeting. It was absolutely an eye-opener that there are so many people who are interested, because that group of people who are there at the conference are going to be the ones who are going to be in future, going to be the ones who are going to be taking care of our children. So I think it is a perfect segue to progress in this, and it will probably be a model that should be replicated in other parts.
We hope so. And Professor Hagr, as we are talking about this conference, tell us a little bit more about this second international conference. As to what did it entail? The discussions were pertaining to more as to the current means that we have, the current modern means, or was it more about the future vision? Was it more about sharing the expertise?
Well, in fact, the first conference was 2 years ago, and it was a success that we planned this one in advance to be more successful and get more outcome of this conference. So in fact, we try to get everything out of this conference. So learning from our mistake and other mistakes or faults that happen in any centers, and talking about it clearly, and also planning the futures, because as Professor Arun said, we are expanding so fast that we don't know, maybe one day would say, oh, you know what, we have this mistake which become magnified with time. So we'd like to anticipate these kind of things in advance and talk about it with colleagues with long experience and try to handle them in a proper way. So I think it was very useful conference. I've been, as a president of the society, been traveling almost everywhere and learning from everyone, but I also this time I learned from our friends here in Saudi Arabia, and I learned from our colleagues from outside. So I'm sure everybody who attend this conference get a lot of new ideas and new practical things, because not everything we see it outside could be applicable in Saudi Arabia. But if we see what our friends in other centers are facing, we could have similar solutions and help those our main target, those the patients.
Very nice. And with this, we wish you all the good luck, Professor Abdurrahman Hagr. Also, tomorrow's maybe the end of the conference, so wish you all the good luck to help those in need and to come up with good recommendations and good outcomes. And also Dr. Arun Gadri, we wish you all the good luck and wish you enjoy your stay here for the second time in the Kingdom of Saudi.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it very much.
It's a pleasure having you both gentlemen. You added so much value to the show today. And with this, our dear viewers will go on a report, and we'll be back with a phone call with Mrs. Dr. Salwa Al-Hazza. Yeah, we'll take that call right after the report. Stay tuned.
So my name is Badr Al-Harbi. I'm a ophthalmic technician in eye clinic. We are presenting this machine to the audience, and this machine is auto refraction. We are doing auto refraction to the audience here. It will measure the refractive error in the eye. Also, we have beside this we have an air buff to measure the tension of the eye. And this is all the thing about this machine.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. I'm Adel Al-Maghrabi from Ophthalmology Clinic in King Faisal Specialist Hospital. We are here in the Awareness Day today to interview with the patient here to let them know about the condition of the eye. Here in this machine we'll take auto refraction and IOP, which is intraocular pressure of the eye, and we give them the piece of paper to know the auto refraction and IOP. If there is any problem or any question, we'll let them go to our doctors here, physician, and they can take any information of them.
And of course, right now we are at King Faisal Hospital for, of course, research center, and research center, of course, with me here, Dr. Of course, development assistant, Hazar Hazza. We are so happy to have you here, of course, to attend the eye awareness. And of course, just like I said, you know, safety awareness is really a good thing. You have to really take caution about safety of your eyes. And of course, you're doing your, your kids section. Just can you give us information about, you know, how can we save our kids' eyes?
Sure. Good morning, everyone. Actually, we're talking about the eye safety for the infants or for kids. Actually, we have to protect their eyes by wearing glasses. Not most of the time. When the kids go out through the sunlight outside, we should protect his eye by wearing sunglasses. And also there is some vitamins A coming from the vegetables, carrots, and all the green, and also vegetables, because also all this one could protect the eye, and also the retina and the front of the eye and back of the eye. And also in our section we're talking about the protection of the sharp items. You know, kids in the house or outside of the house should protect their eyes, not to carry or not to run by carrying sharp objects. And also the parents should be aware that to take all the sharp things away from kids. This is for eye safeties.
And of course, you know, what kind of advice like to send to the families I watch right now? You know, any advice for them for protection for the kids?
For the parents, actually, it's very important to keep the sharp objects, knives, forks, even spoons. Sometimes, if the kids carrying, running, especially in the stairs, carrying sharp objects, or the edges of the papers. All this should be kept away from kids. And also the father or mother should, especially the mother, when she's staying with her kids most of the time, should cook for them actually vegetables. This is really good for kids, good for their eyes, for the strength vision also.
Of course, sir, we thank you so much for your time, and of course, thank you so much for having us in your section. It's really amazing.
Thank you so much. We have all the colorful hair, we have balloons. We give actually to the kids gifts, magazines, colors, just to encourage them, and by explaining to their parents, to the kids themselves, in a simple way. Actually, we don't want to give them very advanced way. Simple way, to wear glasses, to prevent themselves from danger, sharp things. This is our section all about.
My name is Munira Saoud. I'm an ophthalmic technician in eye department, King Faisal Hospital. Today we have our Eye Awareness Day. We have many parts here talking about the eyes and safety of the eyes, how we can protect our eyes. My section here about the anatomy of the eye. I explain for the patients parts of the eye and how can we see. Then they answer the questions and we give gifts. Here we have many things, many sections talking about disease and how we can prevent ourselves and how we can what we say prevent the disease and making surgery and what the decisions for the doctors.
And of course, if you want to advise me, how can I protect my eye and my kids' eye, my family eyes? Just give us some advice about that.
Well, first of things, we have to protect our eyes, especially children, from sharp things like knives, pencils, pen, any sharp things. Get away from them. And if we could, as much as we can, to protect them from televisions and computers, just a few minutes or few hours in a day, they can play computers like that. For of course, healthy food, it's a much important thing for this thing.
And before we finish, one last word for our viewers. Would you like to say anything before we finish?
I thank you for giving us a chance to showing the people how they protect their eyes and our awareness day here.
Welcome back, our dear viewers, still tuned to the Saudi Morning Show. And we had two guests. Now we're having one phone call. Saima, who's our next guest?
Well, Ghazi, we are going to be up next, moving on towards our discussion, which is upon the lines of the first Awareness Day for Eye Health and Safety under the title, In Your Eyes, Life is Beautiful. And we are having our esteemed guest joining us via phone from Riyadh, Dr. Salwa Al-Hassa, who's the chairman and consultant of ophthalmology surgery at King Faisal Specialist Hospital and Research Center, and as well as an esteemed member of the Shura Council. Assalamu alaikum and good morning, Dr. Salwa.
Good morning.
Thank you for joining us, Dr. Salwa.
Yeah, I do apologize for not being able to be physically there, and that is simply due to my busy schedule this morning.
Indeed, we understand your constraints and constant battle with time, Dr. Salwa. For people like you, we really hope that there were more than 24 hours in one day. But with this, Dr. Salwa, let us to move on towards talking upon the lines of the first Awareness Day for Eye Health and Safety, as upon the title is In Your Eyes, Life is Beautiful. Tell us a little bit more about it.
As you know, the ophthalmology service became an ophthalmology department early this year, and one of the requirements is to be able to do Awareness Day for the public. The King Faisal Specialist Hospital is considered one of the largest hospitals, not only in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, but the Middle East, and the number of the actual patients that come through the hospital per day can exceed 5,000. I'm not only talking about the patients, but I'm also talking about the relatives and the sitters that accompany. So we were able to do our first ophthalmic awareness day at the King Faisal Specialist Hospital on the ground floor at the main entrance. We were very much surprised at the number of people that attended this ophthalmic awareness day. It started from 9 in the morning until 3 in the afternoon. And actually the number of people that registered, and I can tell you there were many that did not register, were a total of 425 registrants, from females, males, and also children. We also had a very interesting booth where we actually measured the intraocular pressure, and that is like you measure the blood pressure in the body. We also measure the ocular, which is the eye pressure in the eye, and we had a total of 423 participants that actually had their ocular pressure measured. Out of those, we were able to actually diagnose over 30 people that had increase in the intraocular pressure, and we referred them to the correct services. We also measured people that needed glasses, and we had over 400 participants that had their eyes measured for glasses, and we found, especially in the children, many that were myopic, and we instructed their parents to make sure that they got them the appropriate glasses. We had a number of 3 vendors from different companies that participated by distributing free samples of lubricants and contact lens kits to those in need. The interesting thing regarding the stations, we had a total of 5 stations. One of the stations actually showed the anatomy or the physiology of how do we see. We also had, and this was a very important booth, eye safety for children. As you know, the eye safety for children is something very important. And not only did the children come to the booth because of the coloring books that we distributed and the candies, but their parents were very much interested in how to save the children. We had one booth where one of the assistant consultants actually answered in Arabic any queries of the common ocular diseases that anybody had questions about. The other booth was for carrying and handling of contact lenses. As you know, in this part of the world, unfortunately, the dry weather and the less hygiene can very much affect the corneas or the eyes, the front part of the eye, and that is a major health hazard. And the last booth was for the eye safety for adults, and we really stressed the using of goggles, especially for the laborers or for anybody doing any work within their household.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Dr. Salwa, let me ask you about as you mentioned, many visitors were coming to this awareness day, but which age is the most? Is it the old generation or the young generation? Also, let me ask you about their feedback. How did you see it?
Well, I can tell you it was from all ages. We had young children. In fact, we had many young children who volunteered to help in the children booth. We had actually teenagers, there were many teenagers that attended. We also had adults, and we had the old generation. As you know, these were patients or sitters or people accompanying the patients that were attending to already existing appointments that had happened. Mm-hmm. I can tell you the feedback. We have not. I don't have anything objectively, but I will tell you that many patients, as I had to walk through to be able to give the certificates, to hand the certificates to the health educators, mm-hmm. the ophthalmology staff, and the vendors, I was very much surprised of many of the visitors and even the hospital personnel that indicated, Dr. Salwa, you should do this on 3 monthly basis, because the number of people that attended this Ophthalmic Awareness Day has actually superseded any other awareness day that had happened in the hospital. And I believe this is simply because the eye is an important organ in your body, and we know that 3 emergencies: it's loss of your life, loss of your limb, and loss of your sight.
Yes.
Certainly. And Dr. Salwa, as you just mentioned, especially the importance and significance of the eyesight. Today is the 3rd of December, and it's the International Day for Persons with Disability. What would you like to say to the viewers as an awareness message on this day?
I think it's very important for mothers, if they see anything abnormal within their children, whether it's a head tilt, whether it's squinting in the eyes, whether coming close to the TV, or even just a simple abnormality, to please not go to a regular doctor, but to actually go to a specialized doctor in ophthalmology. I do recommend that anyone over the years of 40 of age must have their intraocular pressure checked. This is a must, and it is even a more of a must if you have a family history of glaucoma. It is very important for mothers to make sure that their children are wearing their appropriate eyeglasses and not to be embarrassed of that. And last and not least, it's very important for anyone that is visually handicapped to be part of the society. I encourage mothers, I encourage families, I encourage the society to make sure that these visually handicapped people are only blind within their eye, but they are not blind when it comes to their heart or their brain, and to actually have them interact with our society and be an integral part of this society.
Mm-hmm. And Dr. Salwa Hazza, we appreciate giving us that time, and we know that your your schedule is so busy, and you're having a meeting, and we would like to thank you so much for joining us today.
And thank you for giving me this opportunity to at least shed some light to our public about the importance of the eyes, the eye safety, and eye examination.
Thank you very much and have a good day. That was Dr. Salwa Al-Hazza, Chairman and Consultant of Ophthalmology Surgery at King Faisal Specialist Hospital and Research Center, talking about the first Awareness Day for Eye Health and Safety under the title, In Your Eyes, Life is Beauty. We would like to thank Dr. Salwa for giving us the time. She was busy also. She is having a meeting that was 5 minutes ago, but we make it delayed a little bit just to get to introduce the event to our dear viewers to know a better idea about this Awareness Day. And the number of visitors, mashallah, as she mentioned, was one of the largest regarding the Awareness Days that were held in the King Faisal Specialist Hospital. And it was positive feedback, and we wish them all the good luck, inshallah. It would be repeated every now and then.
Indeed. And well, Ghazi, as I was mentioning about the International Day for Persons with Disabilities is marked for the 3rd of December. We get to see lots of the awareness activities which are going on here in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. But a great part of it all is also for us to feel for the people with disabilities as well, and how it is that we can help and make them a part of our society. How can we help them to have better integration into our societies? We have been able to see some great work which has been done for the people with disabilities by the center, Prince Salman Center for Disability Research. We have seen so many of the medical facilities in Saudi Arabia helping persons with disabilities in order to live better lives, and ultimately the strong stance of His Royal Highness Prince Sultan bin Salman, as we get to see that he has been speaking tremendously for the support of persons with disabilities as well. So much so that all our government buildings now, alhamdulillah, almost are accessible to persons with disabilities, and we hope inshallah that it is going to become more common in the society. And as well as from next week, there is going to be a very important event that is going to start by the end of this week, which is the experience of how the world is for a person who is blind. And this event is called Dine in the Dark. You can log onto the internet and read more about it, which is going to be happening here in Riyadh, where Riyadh City for the first time ever is going to experience dining in absolute darkness, where they are going to be served and catered to by the blind people themselves, who are going through constant rigorous programs, training programs, in order to be able to come to the level to be able to help all the other diners who are going to be joining them for this experience of dining in the dark. But this is all to create more awareness about the persons who are not having the sound sight as we do.
True, and with this, our dear viewers will go to see the stock market updates, if it's going up or down, and we'll be back to you. Stay tuned.
welcome back once again. You're still tuned to the Saudi Morning Show. So, during the break, we were just talking a little bit about the addiction that now everybody is having constantly with their cellular devices, with their tablets, and we get to see smartphones have really become not just a gadget, but it's really an accessory which is used all the time. And before, we used to see that people would be keeping their cell phones in their pockets, and for ladies they would be keeping their cellular devices in their handbags, but now it is always in the hand, so it has become an extension of the human hand almost.
Well, now everything regarding your life is mostly included in your cell phone. Talk about contacts, this is the main job of the cell phone, to call people and to communicate, but also
not anymore,
also to taking pictures, listening to music, playing games, checking the weather, the updates, the stock market that we have just seen. It's all in this little device, and this is why people are getting addicted more and more. With the new apps that are added and installed in this little device, the addiction would be more. And I was telling Simon that my cell phone was broken 4 days ago until I bought a new cell phone. 4 days I felt homesick. I felt something is missing, something big. And this is what's happening, I guess, with most people nowadays, especially of the young generation that we're having, as they walk in with the while texting and hitting maybe some wall without knowing.
Yeah.
That's a really big addiction.
Absolutely, Ghazi. And I mean, I think that we have all given into the mobile phones, and it's really unfortunate. And we get to see how people suffer sometimes, including myself. And it is that out of all hopelessness and everything that has gone throughout the day, your phone dies on you. Now, you cannot reach your driver, you cannot reach your home, because most of the people are not able to recall or memorize numbers to begin with because of the dependency that we are having on the cell phones. Hopefully the situation is going to get better, and at least we would know one family member's home number or cell phone number by heart, or we would know our home number. But nonetheless, we need to cut it down to such an extent, as we were talking about the 3rd of December being marked as the International Disability Day, or for persons with disability. This day is, we should think about how much it is that Allah the Almighty has blessed us with all our senses, with our vision, with all our limbs working, but we should not really be abusing it, because some people go on browsing the internet for hours and hours continuously without having a break. And it's not a break if you have gone from web browsing to social networking websites. So make sure that you do give your eyes a break. It's important for us to be having shut eye time as well, and to be just giving our eyes and the nerves inside the eye a break. So make sure that you do that, and that you do not really always are hooked on to your cell phone or to your tablet.
And we were talking just with Dr. Salwa Al-Hazza in this regards, the first awareness day for the eye health. And with the new technologies, we are being affected without knowing, and this is why I should be cautioned, especially for the young generation. For now, our dear viewers, we'll resume our discussion, but right after we check the economic news and the economic updates, we'll see the 4 updates for today, and we'll be back to you. Stay tuned.
welcome back once again. You're still tuned to the Saudi Morning Show. So, well, in today's edition of the program, we are still going to be having some more of the interesting discussions, but as well as in our segment, which is Saudi Arabia in the world, where we are going to be witnessing also a very interesting report which is coming to us from Cairo by our correspondent there, where in a big celebration, Saudi Arabian ambassador to Cairo in Egypt, Ahmed Kattan, laid the foundation stone for one of the major squares in Luxor in Upper Egypt that has been given the name of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, in recognition of the kingdom's support for Egypt. And well, this is just really one of those great occasions that should always be marked by media presence as well. But we always get to see the custodian of the two holy mosques support for all the people in the world as to how it is that assistance, help and support is always extended to the people in need, and it's not only for the Muslims but as well as for people from around the world. So this is really marked as a great event which took place in Egypt, and at the same time we get to see that the custodian of the two holy mosques has been really a ray of hope and light to so many of the people. And especially as today we are talking about the International Day for persons with disabilities, we see that so many of the people who are living able lives, especially the conjoined twins, so many of the conjoined twins who never are really able to make it to even a surgery and a surgical separation, have been supported by the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz, to come here to Saudi Arabia and to have the best team operating on them surgically in order for them to start to live better lives and separate lives. So may Allah the Almighty always bless and protect King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, and as well as Saudi Arabia when it comes to their constant stance towards supporting human lives.
True, yeah, it's not only giving support as you just mentioned, it's also receiving people and giving them support. We're talking medical regards. Also for Umrah and Hajj, we're hosting big numbers, and the custodian of the two holy mosques is hosting a big number every year actually for free of charge to perform Hajj and Umrah. May Allah bless the kingdom inshallah and keep us safe inshallah, and from inshallah development to a bigger development. For now, our dear viewers will go on a report, and we'll be back with another respectful guest here in the studio. Stay tuned.
In a legendary ambiance between the archaeology of ancient Luxor city, where the history is the witness of the strength and depth of the relations between Egypt and the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, came this official and popular immense celebration of launching the name of the custodian of the two holy mosques on the largest squares of Luxor to express the stature of the King Abdullah among the Luxor inhabitants, where His Excellency the Saudi Ambassador in Egypt, Ahmed Abdulaziz Kattan, laid the foundation stone of the square of the custodian of the two holy mosques, King Abdullah bin Abdulaziz Al Saud, in the province of Luxor, with the presence of Luxor Governor.
I can't express the feelings accompanying the delegation and me, but I can say that we are all reflected through the frequent visit to this region that touched the bottom of my heart. This is the second time to visit Luxor, and the feeling of torrential love touched during the celebration from the people of Luxor cannot be expressed. And I know very well the stature of the custodian of two holy mosques and the people of the kingdom in the Egyptian hearts.
King Abdullah Square, Trade Square formerly, is considered to be one of the most famous squares of Luxor, as it has witnessed many demonstrations and celebrations, and is one of the largest and most important squares of the province, as it mediates by pharaonic ramps, which connects the temples of Luxor and Karnak, and the Nile River, also leads to Luxor Museum. The governor showed the Saudi ambassador the final model of the square form, which has been designed in the form of combining Arabic, Islamic and pharaonic civilizations.
The idea of launching of the name of King Abdullah ibn Abdulaziz on the largest square here came from the bottom of Luxor people's heart. It started in one popular conferences when people demanded to give His Majesty the name of the largest square, as a gesture of appreciation of people of Luxor to the King Abdullah ibn Abdulaziz, who stood behind Egypt, and the close of foreign powers who wanted to interfere in the country's internal matters.
Different groups of folk art from the province of Luxor participated in the celebration amid large popular and tourist presence by the visitors of Luxor Temple. Both the celebration and launching the name of His Majesty on the largest square of the city received a huge popular welcome from the people of Luxor.
Giving the name of King Abdullah to the largest square here, the trade square formally is a gesture of appreciation to His Majesty that aims to show the love and appreciation of people of Luxor to the king and the kingdom. Egyptian and Saudis are the biggest two countries in the region, and the relationship between them has to be very good and strong.
From the purity of the Nile, Luxor residents inherited many of the immortal river attributes, including the appreciation and love to those who stand next to them, and with Egypt in times of adversities. The thing that they found in King Abdullah ibn Abdulaziz Al Saud in his acclaimed stances with Egypt, in which they expressed in different ways, first of which was giving his name to the largest squares of the city. For KSA 2, this is Ghada Sayah reporting from Luxor.
Welcome back. So that was our correspondent who was joining us from Luxor in Egypt, and well, we saw this momentous occasion as well. But with this, now we're going to be moving on towards our next discussion here in the program, which is a discussion about contact lenses, as we have been again and again mentioning the importance of creating more awareness, especially on the International Day for persons with disability. We don't really want, God forbid, anybody to be losing their vision due to maybe mishandling of the contact lenses with any of the conditions that could happen with your eye, as Dr. Salwa Al-Hassan was talking to us before, and as well as earlier than that, as we were talking about the importance of the sense of hearing with Professor Hagr and as well as Dr. Arun. So with all this, we hope that all of you are going to be having more awareness when it comes to taking care of your eyes, of your vision, and of your hearing, and as well as of yourself in general. But with this, moving on towards our discussion about contact lenses, Dr. Musa Al-Hassan is joining us, who is an optometrist. Assalamu alaikum and good morning.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. First, I would like to thank you for invitation, and also I want to say Assalamu alaikum for everybody.
Alaikum salam. Dr. Musa, let me ask you about our topic today is contact lenses. What is contact lenses in general?
The contact lenses is a piece of plastic disc shape put on the surface of the eye to correct refractive errors such as short sight, long sight, presbyopia and astigmatism. Short sight, that means, or myopia, that means, short sight, that means the person cannot see the far object. And the long sight, the person can, in which the person cannot see the far and near object. While the presbyopia, if the person cannot see the near object, that means he's complaining of difficulty reading, so they always need to see the near vision. While the astigmatism is a general distortion in the vision. Contact lenses, as I mentioned, to correct the refractive errors. We use contact lenses as spectacles, but in many cases, the contact lenses is the only one solution. When the glasses cannot be used, like monocular cataract extraction, monocular aphakia, and also like what I want to say, conical cornea, keratoconus, and also like we also use contact lenses as bandage after surgery. This is about the contact lenses. Also, the contact lenses as classified, we let us say classified as material is for it is hard and soft, and for the duration of use we have extended wear, and we have it is possible monthly, weekly, bi-weekly, and daily. And daily one is advisable because it is more healthy than others.
So with the daily one, tell us, Dr. Musa, as to the daily ones, it's just like that you use the contact lenses every day and you throw it away?
Yes, the daily one is the one that This is a daily usage. That's why we said daily. You use it in the day and you throw it away.
It's more hygienic.
More hygienic, that's
This is
why.
why it's more safe.
Yes, more safe and more healthy. That's why I said this is advisable than others. And we advise everybody want to try the contact lenses for first time to start with the daily wear. The daily wear contact lenses.
As you said, that the priority for glasses, and if someone cannot wear glasses, they might wear contact lenses. Who needs to wear contact lenses in particular, and who doesn't?
The contact lenses, anyone above 8 years can use contact lenses, but their parents, for those 8 years, their parents, you have to take care or must to take care the hygiene of the contact lenses of their children. Regard to the teenagers also can use contact lenses, but the teenagers need frequent check-up because in this period, at teenagers, there is a frequent changes in the refractive powers occur. Above 40 also can use contact lenses, but we expect dryness, and this is a lack of lacrimal fluid. So artificial tears should be used. Artificial tears eye drop should be used. This is for above 40.
That's right. And Dr. Musa, let me ask you, when we talk about contact lenses, for anybody wearing contact lenses or planning to wear contact lenses, is it important for them to be having an eye exam before buying contact lenses?
Yes, of course. It is very important to check your eyes before wearing contact lenses, especially for the first time to wear contact lenses. And we have to check the external eye, the lids, and also the cornea and the sclera, and also moreover the lacrimal fluid assessment should be done. It is very important, this one, this regard to because of dryness.
Yeah, and also let me ask you about how long, you mentioned that there is 1 month, 1 week, and there is daily basis for the contact lenses, but how do you decide what kind the patient or the one who needs it should follow regarding the daily and the weekly and the monthly one? Why is it decided? Is it regarding the cause itself?
No, but what I mentioned, the daily is more healthy than other. Our advisors.
So they all doing the same job?
Yes.
And for how long? Is it until maybe for 1 year, 2 years, or maybe lifetime, or until the cause is over?
Until the cause is over. Okay. Everybody can use it once. And now daily wear available, even color, clear, even stigmatism, even toric, even spheric, all.
And also let me ask you, Dr. Musa, about your general advice for people who wear and use contact lenses and who also wanna maybe use contact lenses in the future.
The general hygiene is very important. The general hygiene is for general hygiene before insertion, before removal, and also the solution for extended wear also supposed to change the solution every day. And also regard to the duration of the use should take it taken seriously. Why? Because once we said daily is that mean 1 day, weekly is 1 week, no more. And start when you up in the package, open the package, in that time we start. After 1 week I have to throw it away, and so on. Monthly it should be 1 month. Not monthly that means 30 times. No, monthly is 1 month. This is very important also. This is about the advice.
But we should definitely not be using the extended wear contact lenses for more than a year as well, right?
Yes, only more than a year. But now everybody is supposed to switch contact lenses. They early or constant wear is supposed to go to monthly, and monthly go to bi-weekly, and bi-weekly to go to the switch to the.
And very briefly, Dr. Musa, let me also ask you, the people who have been wearing contact lenses for a long time, for many years, is it good for them to have an eye exam just to check if contact lenses or constantly wearing contact lenses is not giving any problem to the eye, or should they go to the doctor if they have some complications?
Definitely, if they have complications, they will supposed to go to the doctor. But also, every time, every 6 months, every year, you have to go to the doctor to check his eyes. This is very important.
Yeah, and with this, Dr. Musa, I would like to thank you so much for joining us today in the studio.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And that was Dr. Musa Al-Hassan. He was talking about contact lenses and the importance of maintaining a healthy eye while wearing the contact lenses. For now, our dear viewers, will go on a report and we'll be back to you. Stay tuned.
And now we are joined by Dr. Nasser Al-Yusuf on the sideline of this great event, of course, pertaining to nutrition and food in general. Dr. Nasser, how do you perceive this event?
Thank you very much, and we are appreciating your attendance for this event. Actually, we know nutrition is a very important factor for the community, and also it's related very strongly to the health of the community. From this point of view, our people in the hospital, they start thinking to collect and activate this day in collaboration with the other people all over the world, because you know this is an international day, and we also in this hospital and our people in the dietitian department, they are aware about the importance, and we want from them and a lot of things to be directed for our patient and our community, and from this way they are running this activity, and this is just part of the work which we hope to be to run all over the year, not only this day. And again, we appreciate your attendance and covering for this event.
Dr. Nasser, how would you evaluate the participations of other sectors and other organizations in this event?
Yeah, it's according to the day and their attendance from a big company which have a big role in nutrition. They are coming today and participating with us and giving the instruction and introducing their products for the people over here to be introduced at the end for the people, which was at the level of excellence as I have seen.
And now we are joined by Dr. Ijlal Jalali, the Director of the Nutrition Department. Dr. Jalal, would you tell us about the importance of such event?
Do you know the International Nutrition Day, all the worldwide, they are programming for this day to help the people to understand about the nutrition and how the benefit of the nutrition and how it's work with all people in different age. Our country is one of this worldwide, and do you know we have a lot of problem with nutrition, especially with the teenager. Our teenager in this country, they are consuming a very, very high calorie per day. As I mentioned before while we are opening ceremony, the teenager, they are consuming between 3,000 to 3,500 calorie per day. With shorting of vitamin and mineral, and this is it affect them body, especially the performance of education. They can't give more better like before. Do you know our population before, or about 10 or 20 years ago, the generation of at that time they were very smart and they give a lot. But now our new generation, they are weak, they not moving, they staying most of the time to play computer games, and they consuming a lot of protein and high of protein and high of fat. This is really, without anything. And this is really give this new generation a lot of common disease as diabetes, obesity, hypertension, and you know from this generation there is sign a lot of students with diabetic type 2 and also cancer. Some studies say this fat and high protein intake, its relation with cancer disease. Because that we are trying in this events to tell these people to reducing the calorie intake, especially from the fast foods. And we're trying to tell them back to vegetables, to salads, to fruit, and reducing the protein. Do you know the protein amount for each person, how they are need? For example, if the person he is 70 kilo, he need only about 45 to 50. That's mean 0.8 for each kilogram from his body. And the calorie it's need, it depends to the activity of the subject or people or student. The calorie need, if they are active or they are sitting or they are working so hard, but in general they need about for each, if them age between 12 to 18, between 1800 to 2500, but if they are in normal weight. That's mean, what I mean by normal weight, if his height 100, for example, 65, his normal weight about 60, 62, that's his need for this one between 1800 to 2500.
Doctor, what about the children aging between 1 and 5 years?
Between 0 to 3, this is the category of distribution of the age. From 0 to 3, they getting a high calorie because they need it because for growth, development for them, especially if they are under 1 year. Under 1 year, they need 150 calorie per kg. When they get older, this calorie it's reducing time by time until they are reaching the normal calorie for each people.
Welcome back. You're still tuned to the Saudi Morning Show, and we hope that you're all having a good day as well as enjoying today's edition of the program. Now, with this, we are going to be moving on towards our next discussion, where we are going to be talking about palliative medicine and palliative care with Dr. Iman Bukhari, who's a palliative medicine consultant, and we're going to be talking to her about improving the quality of life for the people suffering with cancer. Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the Saudi Morning Show, Dr. Iman. Well, it's our pleasure that you have made the time to come and join us here in the studio to talk to us about the Saudi Cancer Society. But in the beginning, Dr. Iman, as we would be talking about palliative medicine as well, but can you tell our viewers a little bit about the Saudi Cancer Society as well, some of the works that they are doing?
Saudi Cancer Society, charity society, started to work 10 years ago, and they are supporting the cancer patients, different nationalities, different ages, different sexes, and they are supporting them in 3 ways. The patients and their relatives, of course. They can support socially, they can support psychologically, and they can support also by public awareness.
Yes, Dr. Iman, if we let me ask you again about the Saudi Society for Cancer. So the Saudi Cancer Society, it's been established in 1424, so it's been now for 10 years. And you've been participating with them after that, of course. You're not one of the establishers, but you joined later. But how do you see the Saudi Society so far until today, since you joined, the development maybe in the number regards, And also regarding the services that are provided for the patients who are coming from different ages and genders, as you mentioned, how do you rate the service that is provided for them?
Actually, as I said a while ago, the Saudi Cancer Society are providing varieties of services to the patients. Of course, throughout these 10 years, the services has been improved, and the awareness of the people of the services provided by the Saudi Cancer Charity Society are very well known nowadays.
Mm-hmm.
And they are of great support to our patients in different areas in Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. You know, we are a huge country, and the patients, they come from different areas. They are supporting the patients by, as I said a while ago, social support.
Mm-hmm.
This is in a way that they are giving their air tickets and to visit the hospital where they are following and receiving their treatments.
Mm-hmm.
They are also giving them the monthly payment to support them financially.
Mm-hmm.
And different ways of social support.
Mm-hmm.
Also, they are supporting psychologically, supporting the patients and supporting the families by doing visits to the patients, by asking some celebrity to see the patients and visit them. And also sometimes the volunteers, they can come through the Saudi Charity Society to visit the patients. At last, they are concentrating on social awareness and early detection of cancer by so many social activities.
Mm-hmm. And you mentioned in the psychological support, so it's not only the doctors for like the cancer, but also psychiatrists who are participating maybe and part of the Saudi Cancer Society who are providing also the support. Also, let me ask you about the cancer itself. Is it a disease that would lead eventually to death within a short period of time? Because a doctor came here one day and said it's getting to be like any other disease, and through the time it would be like any normal disease, diabetes or high blood pressure. But nowadays still maybe they are delaying the bad results that might happen. Is that true?
Actually, let me tell you something. Now we are concentrating to work on early detection of cancer.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first thing we need to mention. If we detect the disease early and the patient receives the treatment early, 80% of cancer will be cured in general. I will not name special cancers, but in general, 80% can be cured.
Nice.
And this is a very huge percentage. And for the rest of the 20, they might come late. The diagnosis can be made after the disease has been metastasized and the patient condition become very poor. So I think early detection, visiting the doctor, and not delaying receiving the treatment. Sometimes the patient, they are arguing with the doctor and they want to think for a long time about receiving or not receiving the proper treatment, chemotherapy, radiotherapy, and wasting time is not on their benefits side. So I think early detection and visiting and asking the advice of the physician if anyone noticed anything abnormal on themselves, I think this is my advice to them. Go to your doctor, check. There will be no harm. Most of our hospitals in Saudi Arabia are free of charge. So go, check, ask the advice of the specialized person, and then act according to that.
Mm-hmm.
Certainly. And Dr. Iman, as we're talking about the Saudi Cancer Society and cancer patients here in general in Saudi Arabia, how do you see the awareness campaigns which are going on? Yesterday, as I mentioned in the program, we were speaking about creating more awareness for prostate cancer for men. We get to see a lot of efforts in terms of creating more awareness about breast cancer in Saudi Arabia as well by different NGOs which are basically run by women. But there are so many of the other kinds of cancer for which we do not even have enough awareness in the Saudi society. What would you say about creating more awareness?
I think we are encouraging such a thing. People, they need awareness. People, they need us to remind them that there are certain cancer types, they have an early detection investigations. They can do it and they can prevent themselves from many harms which can result from delaying the diagnosis. And
I think because nowadays they are concentrating more on prostate cancer, breast cancer, because there are some cancer types, they have early detection investigation. The others, they are not yet reached this level of investigations which can detect the disease early or even before the occurrence of the disease, like some genetic counseling in breast cancer. And we as doctors or healthcare providers, and also through the media, we like to increase the people awareness through any activity. Let me tell you, for example, through the Saudi Oncology Charity Society, we are always taking the chance of any day which talk about any type of cancer to celebrate with the people that day. It's all at the end aims to increase the people awareness. For example, in October we had the breast cancer awareness month, and I think many people in different malls, even not only in the hospitals, have seen many activities done in this regard. We have also the Cancer Survivor Day. Usually it is in June, and also we are celebrating that, and we are inviting people from different places to attend that activity. And all of these activities are aimed for the social, for the social awareness. So we are trying our best to take every chance to celebrate and increase the people awareness.
Indeed. And also, Dr. Iman, as we talk about the people with cancer and the Saudi Cancer Society, tell us also about the cancer treatment, as we get to see that the chemotherapy or the radiotherapy are commonly and widely available with really good facilities in Saudi Arabia, and some of the centers still which are working towards cancer research. But nonetheless, when we talk about making the quality of life better for the persons who have acquired cancer, how does palliative medicine help?
Okay. First of all, I would like to say that palliative care, you can say it is a comprehensive type of care. So it will help the patient from different aspects. It's not only for the patients, it's also for their relatives. It supports the patients for their symptoms, to control their symptoms and to reduce their suffer as much as their condition allows us. It supports them psychologically. It gives them the chance to talk more through the counseling sessions. And actually in palliative care, we are working as a team. We are not only just physicians, we are working as a team. This team includes the spiritual counselor, includes the social worker, health educator, dietitian, physiotherapist, pharmacist. And that's why we are providing the service from all the aspects. So any queries with the patient or their relatives can be answered through our team. And as I said a while ago, our aim is to reduce their suffer and make them have a life with a better quality. For the cancer patients mainly, usually palliative care should start on the same time with the diagnosis. If the patient is diagnosed with cancer, the palliative service should be provided for those patients. Because supporting the patient, giving them a chance to understand the treatment plan, I think this is half of the treatment done. If you want your patient to cope with you, to come to their visits regularly, to take the treatment, to tolerate the side effects, ask for the palliative care to support the patient, to provide their service. We can control the side effect of chemotherapy, the side effect of radiation therapy. There are long lists of side effects. We can help the patient to overcome this. In addition to that, the psychological support, I think, has a major role with cancer patients. Also, this service can be provided through the palliative care.
And as you are in this field, Dr. Iman, let me ask you about the cancer patients. Are they mostly being treated inside the kingdom, or maybe still looking for hospitals, maybe in other countries, Germany and the United States? Is there trust maybe for the local hospitals, and the numbers increasing of people who are being treated here?
Alhamdulillah, in Saudi Arabia we have many centers all over the kingdom for cancer treatment. And we have so many doctors who are experts, and actually lots of them, they graduated from hospitals, Western hospitals or USA, and they have a good experience. And nowadays we have actually referrals from different countries for patients to come and receive their treatment in Saudi Arabia.
It's not only the chemotherapy, but also for radiation therapy. We have very much sophisticated and very recent and advanced radiation therapy machines which can help the patients. You might not be able to find it in many of the Western countries even. And we are giving our physicians the training, and we are giving them a chance to be updated about the recent advances in the cancer treatment. So expert-wise, we are not lacking this. And these days, most of the people, they are not looking to receive the treatment outside Saudi Arabia. Most of them, they actually prefer to receive the treatment with their family around them in their
some people
home
are coming
country.
from GCC countries and other Arab countries to be treated here as well.
Yes, exactly. It's not only the GCC, different countries, they are coming actually to receive their treatment in Saudi Arabia.
Indeed. And with this, Dr. Iman Bukhari, would like to thank you so much for joining us in today's edition of the program, for adding value to the discussion that we were having, and we wish you all the very best.
Thank you very much for you.
So, well, we were in discussion with Dr. Iman Bukhari, who is a consultant of palliative medicine. She was talking about improving the quality of life with people who are suffering with cancers from the point that the diagnoses are made. And we wish also all the best for the Saudi Cancer Society for all the positive work that they are doing for supporting people and supporting lives which are suffering with the menace of cancer. And hopefully one day we can have a permanent cure.
May Allah protect us from cancer and the bad results of the cancer. And all the thanks to Dr. Iman Bukhari for joining us and adding so much value to the program. And all the thanks to you, our dear viewers at home watching us. Hopefully you've benefited from those 2 hours that you've been with us. And inshallah, we'll see you tomorrow. Stay safe and smile to the life. And we'll see you inshallah tomorrow. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.